long, long time ago, there was a king. He was a just ruler, he was a fair ruler, he was an amazing ruler. He had 3 wives, but he had no children, or more specifically, he had no sons. One day, he went to his guru, and he asked his guru, "Please bless me with sons." So his guru gave him a blessed kheer. He took the kheer and he divided it amongst his 3 wives. He gave half of it to one of his wives. He gave the other half, and he divided that other half into a half, and he gave that to his other 2 wives because he had a favorite wife. Anyway, they ended up getting pregnant, which was, for him, it was a big miracle. He was so excited. The kingdom was excited. Everyone knew how long he'd been longing, how long he'd wanted children, and now he was gonna have 3, but then it turned out he was gonna have 4. He had 4 children named Ram, Bharat, Shatrun, and Lakshman. These 4 children grew up and they were good friends. They weren't sibling rivalry like all the Indian movies we know all too well. They went to an ashram together where they studied and grew up together. The 4 of them were very smart. They were good at archery and all their warrior aspects. And they were very into God. Like, they loved hearing stories about Bhagwan. One day when they were all grown up, well, you could say in their youth, a sage came to the town and he asked the king for help. The king said, "What can I do for you?" And the guru said, "I need your sons to fight the demons in my ashram." The king went. The king could give anything the sage wanted, but not his sons. He said, "I had them when I was very old. I cannot have them leave me, please." But then his sage was like, "No, let them go. They are responsible enough and they are old enough." So he went, "Okay, bye Ram, bye Lakshman, have fun, don't die." So the 2 of them went with this sage and they thought, well, this is a lovely little adventure. They go to the ashram and the sage says, "Well, normally when I do this prayer, they start coming out." Ram and Lakshman said, "It's okay, don't worry Uncle Ji, we got you." So that a sage, he continued on with this prayer, he did it. And then the demons, they were hiding in the bushes and they said, "Let's go ruin the prayers. It will be fun to have Bhagwan hate us." So then they attacked, but no, Ram and Lakshman were ready. As soon as they came, they released volleys and volleys of arrows. Headshot, boom, ba, ba, no scope kill, ha ha. And they died. And the sage was like, "Whoa, blessed be thy, dude." He probably didn't say dude. They weren't as woke then. So they decided to stay for a bit. They thought this sage is really nice and we can learn some more about Bhagwan. One day they went out for a walk and they saw this massive slab of stone. And Ram asked the sage, "Why is this slab of stone here? It's so random." The sage explained the story of Ahalya, the wife of a sage named Gautam, who got cursed to turn into a rock. Apparently, if the foot of a god touched her, she turned into a human. Ram just stepped forward and he put his foot on there. He wasn't trying to say, "Oh, I'm God." No, he was probably just curious, you know. Touches his foot against it, and the woman turns in, and the rock turns into a woman. And the woman's like, "I am so thankful." And then she went back to her husband, which is not what I would do if I was reborn. She goes back to her husband, she's speechless, but her crying, that was like speaking volume for Ram. And Ram was like, "Okay, cool." Sage was pretty impressed, and yeah, it was a good little story. Now, on another day, Ram and Lakshman, they woke up early. And they decided to go and pick some flowers for the morning prayers for the sage. You know, he was old, they didn't want to have to bend over and break his back, that's a whole hassle. So they go out, and then they find a temple. And they see all these girls there praying. And then Ram sets his eyes on Sita. Enter the romantic music. It was love at first sight, which is, well, it kind of makes sense since they were technically the versions of Vishnu and Lakshmi. You know, Ram was Vishnu and Lakshmi was Sita. They were sort of like that couple. And he was like speechless. He didn't know what to say to her. And she went, "Hi." And he went, "Hi." He was really respectful, you know, he wasn't like the sort of pickup guy. Anyway, they talked, and when they went back to the ashram, and the sage said, "We've been invited to King Janak's contest for his daughter Sita." And they went, "Oh, Sita, that's the girl in the forest." And they were like, "Yeah, okay, let's go." They go, and they see all these men there. They find out that the contest is to pick up a really heavy bow, one of Shiv's bows. See, when Sita was a baby, she moved the bow. So the king said, "She moved the bow. Whoever can break the bow will marry her." I don't know why you want to break something that's God's. That's not a wise decision. A bunch of strong men, they tried lifting it up and they could not break it. Forget breaking it, they couldn't even move it. These guys had more muscle than Arnold Schwarzenegger. And we're not talking steroids, no. So then Ram, he's looking and he's like, "Okay, this isn't happening." And King Janak says, "Nobody will marry my daughter. It's predestined. She will not get married." He's just like, he's sad. He announces that his daughter's never gonna get married. That particular comment didn't age well. No one was happy about this. But then Lakshman, no, he was outraged. He stood up and he said, "What do you mean she's not gonna get married to anyone? Give me that bow and I'll snap her like the stem of a lotus." And then Ram was like, "Bro, chill. We're representing the Raghus." And he's like, "Okay, bye." King Janak says to Ram, "Do you think you can lift it?" And Ram's like, he was about to say no, but then King Janak just says to him, "Go." And he's like, "Okay." King Ram walks up, not confidently, but humbly. And he looks at the arrow and he looks at the bow and he thinks, I have to pick this up. He thinks about his sage. He prays to his sage. He prays to all the Bhagwans. And he's like, "Please let me do this. I really want to marry her." So he bends over. He picks it up and everyone's like, "Ah! Oh my God, he moved it. What the hell?" And he pulls back the string. And he snaps it. It's silent for a second. All you hear is the snap. Lakshman is like, Ram is like, and Sita is like, and everyone in the kingdom was like, "Oh! Party, Diwali, Diwali, Everyone's celebrating, everyone's so happy, Sita's finally gonna get married. King Janak is like, "But I thought no one was gonna marry her. She would be my baby girl forever." They get married because, they didn't even find out if the couple liked each other. They did, but still, what about consent, bro? Just marrying everyone to whoever they want. And they got married and they lived happily ever after. As happily ever after as you can live. Radhe Radhe guys, and goodbye.